Welcome to Around Town. I'm your host, Dick Patten. It's a pleasure to have you join us as we're now in the Christmas season and soon to be Hanukkah season, but it doesn't seem possible that 20 days from now will be Christmas, and who knows, I can't believe it, but people are out there shopping, and I'm very happy today to have as my special guest on my show. I have Major Rick Starkey, who is the Corps officer for the Salvation Army here in Concord, and it's a pleasure to see you, Major. And how you haven't been here very long, right?
No, my wife and I and my family just moved here in July 1st.
Wow.
So it's only been about 4.5 months or so.
Now, where'd you come from?
We came from Kingston, New York. We've been Salvation Army officers for 22 years now. So,
wow.
But this is a new appointment for us. But before that, we were in Kingston. But before that, we were mostly in the Massachusetts area. So all my kids were born in Massachusetts. So we pretty much consider this area home. And we're glad to kind of be back in the Northeast, out of the New York enemy territory as far as our sports teams go. But yeah, so we're really enjoying it, and really love Concord and the community and what's going on at the Salvation Army. So it's good to be here.
So you don't have a choice. Who would be the one that switches you around, that transfers you though?
Yeah, I mean there could be some say as far as discussion, but yeah, we kind of move without kind of knowing it, and the Salvation Army is divided up into divisions and then territories. So we're in the Northern New England Division, which is Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire, which is part of the Eastern Territory. Okay. And there's 11 states and Puerto Rico that consist of the Eastern Territory.
Wow.
And so we can go anywhere from Maine to Ohio to Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire. Within that territory, you don't usually go out of the territory unless you've requested it. So we most of our appointments for 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
And so we're hoping the same here. Yep. But we got to get a call or maybe some advance notice. Kind of the older you get and the more you've been around, you kind of talk about it a little more. But we found out right around April that there's a possibility that we were moving. Oh, and then we find out in May for sure. And that's when we found out we're moving to Concord. And then we have about 7 or 8 weeks to pack our stuff up and say our goodbyes. And we don't have to move furniture or homes; those are owned by the Salvation Army, which makes it easier. It would be hard to make that kind of transition. So we found out in April, and we moved here July 1st, and it's a beautiful community, a beautiful area, and the Salvation Army is doing great work here, and so we're happy to be here.
Well, it's a good thing you don't go. Good thing you don't go to Ohio or Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we could go there, but we haven't.
But you don't want to go to Ohio or Pennsylvania. Because when you said sports team there, because I'm a very heavily Michigan Wolverine.
Okay, well that means you're a Tom Brady fan.
I can't stand the Buckeyes. Or
I gotcha.
Or the Nittany Lions in Penn
I was
State.
actually born in Pittsburgh.
Really?
But I'm a New England fan. So.
But when you said sports teams, what do you have for sports teams? Or do you follow sports teams?
Yeah, I mean, my family, like I said, my kids were born in Massachusetts, and my wife and I have been kind of in Mass since 1995. Yeah. And we became Red Sox fans.
Oh, okay.
Didn't really root for the Pirates.
Yeah.
Baseball wasn't too big when I was a kid in Pittsburgh, and then the Celtics, because there's no basketball team in Pittsburgh, and I became a converted Patriot fan. My kids are all Patriot fans, and so it just happened overnight. But my kids are all huge New England sports fans. So
that's right. There is no basketball team in Pittsburgh. Is there a hockey team there?
There is, the Pittsburgh Penguins, which I am still a fan of.
That's right.
So
it is odd they don't have a basketball team.
But we haven't been to Pennsylvania for a long time, except to visit. My sister still lives there. But we love Massachusetts and New England, and we go to Maine every year on vacation, so this is like coming home.
Good. Well, the Salvation Army, because I'll tell you, my mother grew up during the Depression. We've lived here all my life. My grandparents were here they were here in 1906, and my grandfather built the first house on East Sugarball Road back in 1916. There was nothing out there. And of course, the Heights at that time was known as Burglar's Island because there was no bridge to get over to the main area. But and then of course they finally built a bridge, and then the Heights became known as the Dark Plains because there was no electricity over there. Then the Concord Plains, now Concord Heights. But she told me, she said she told the story this many times that one Christmas, my grandfather either was out of work or something, or whatever, and Christmas Eve they had no gifts or nothing. They just didn't have anything, food or whatever. And somebody, next day, Christmas Day, somebody came to the house, and with them they brought all kinds of food and gifts, and she said it was the best Christmas they ever had. And she said, I will give anything I can give, I'll give to the Salvation Army. She said, I'll always give to them. And I've heard that. I remember that story so well because, it must have been tough.
Yeah.
Because she was born in 25. But,
right.
But I followed but you've got, now with the McKenna House, and you really have quite a bit to do in Concord.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard those same stories. My grandfather was in World War II, and told stories about the Salvation Army then, and I've heard the stories about Christmas and doing this for 25 or 30 years. So it's really an awesome responsibility to be a part of this, but also there's a lot of weight on our shoulders.
Yeah.
Right now we have 900 children signed up for Christmas toys, which is about 150 more kids than last year. We have great volunteers. Our angel trees are all throughout Concord. You can find them at Toys R Us. You can find them at JCPenney. You can find them at the Salvation Army. We have one. They're at multiple other Bonton, Orange Leaf, angel trees where people can grab an angel off the tree. It represents a child. On there is their age and what they would like. And we have over 3,000 of those tags out and about.
You have them. But do you work with like the Toys for Tots and all that?
We do. The Salvation Army actually runs with the Marines. The Marines collect the toys, but the Salvation Army in Manchester actually runs Toys for Tots for the whole state of New Hampshire. So they're the agency that runs it, and they distribute the toys to other agencies. But the Salvation Army and the Marines work hand in hand. And then we also will go down to Manchester in a couple weeks or a week, and we'll pick up toys that will go to some of these kids that we've signed up. So it's through Angel Tree. It's through many companies and corporations will have the toy drives. So it's Angel Trees, it's toy drives, it's Toys for Tots. The McKenna House, we have the store as well on Sheep Davis Road. And so we have really a full, and then we have our community center where we run multiple programs, and that's where we do all of our social services, the Christmas stuff we're doing now, but also rental assistance and food pantry and everything else that we do during the year.
And you also deliver gifts up to the state prison, right?
There are people that do that. It's been done in the past. We have a lot of volunteers that handle the toy gift part, which we're thankful for. We have a few ladies we have a bunch of people, but there's been a few ladies that headed up that have been there every day since almost the beginning of October. And we don't pay them a dime. And they're there every day, all day, from October until Christmas.
Wow.
And then they have a bunch of other... Right now, we're actually doing our toy shop sign-ups. And the unique thing here, we do Angel Tree, which is a little bit more specific to each child. Then we do a toy shop, which means parents that didn't get to sign up for Angel Tree can come in and go through our toy shop and pick 2 or 3 or whatever toys for their kids. But we also do a grandparent shop, which enables grandparents who maybe don't have extra money or that extra income. They also can sign up, and then they can come in and pick out, these are new toys or clothes if we have them left, but new toys to give to their grandchildren for Christmas.
Oh, isn't that good?
Which nice. You can go over to Grandma and Grandpa's house and visit, and they can give you they can give a toy.
Isn't that nice?
It's just I think that's a great thing, and that's something new. I've not done that before until I came here.
Now, I had a phone call the other day from a lady in Manchester. She saw my name in I'm a member of the Grange, and she saw my name in there, in it, because I have a project called Santa Remembers Teens at Christmas. Santa Remembers Teens at Christmas. And, I don't know, maybe it's not. Yeah, Santa Remembers Teens at Christmas, because teenagers always seem to get left out.
Yeah, you know, the
And
great
it's
part
sad.
here is that in other places we have done only up to 12 years old, just because it's hard to know what to buy. Some 12, 13, 14 are still into kind of toys or action figures, and some aren't, and it gets more difficult. But here, we actually go up to 18.
Yes.
And we'll even go up to 19 or 20 if we have kids that are like disabled or have
Wow.
issues. So we go up to actually 18.
This mother has a son. He's in his early 20s, who is autistic,
Yeah.
and she doesn't know where to go to get gifts for him.
Yeah.
Because
You
she
should
has
reach
no
out to
money.
the Salvation Army in Manchester and see
So
what.
I told her, I said, you should reach out to them because, and I said, I'm sure that there's something that can be done.
Yeah.
And it really hit me because I'm head of the community service department group in the Grange, in the state here, and like I said, I developed this program, Santa Remembers Teens at Christmas, and what we do is Granges donate gift. We look for gift cards.
Yep, that's what we do too a lot.
Because the teenagers love to either go to someplace to shop or something, to buy a CD or something like a Best Buy or a Walmart or a Target, and another favorite place is maybe they want to go to a movie.
Yeah.
So we buy movie passes.
Yeah.
So we've done really well with it. What we do is we have a project that goes on during the year, and we raise X amount of dollars, and we split it between between Toys for Tots and Operation Santa Claus. So we got $500 of gift cards today. I've been shopping for Friends of Forgotten Children. They're going there, and we've already done the Operation Santa Claus. So we took, I think, 8 kids. So it's hard.
So it's nice that we go up to that age here, and we have them on our Angels, but Cheers does a big fundraiser. We just had it last week, and they take a lot of our teenagers. And I know last year they raised about $15,000.
Wow!
And they spent it all on teenagers that we signed up, and they do a lot of you're saying, gift cards, and so we go up to that age, and of course that's why we have our kettles out too this time of the year. I mean, it's not just for Christmas; it's our major fundraiser for the whole year. But we obviously use our goal here in Concord is $100,000. With really 7 or 8 locations in less than 30 days.
Where are you at? Any idea?
We're a little bit behind last year. We put a little press release out yesterday. We're about 15% behind, so that equals about $8,000 to $10,000. Behind last year. It's not tremendous, but you always like to be ahead.
Oh yeah.
And we rely. I mean, like you said, we have the McKenna House. We have all year round operations. The toys, a lot of our toys are donated, and we're thankful for that.
Yeah.
But we have, in order to do what we do, we need staff.
Yeah.
And we're helping people all year round. I mean, the McKenna House has 42 beds every night that are full with a waiting list.
Now,
and
is that just for men, or is it
it's for men and no? When we did the remodel a year and a half ago in the addition, we only had space for 5 women.
Wow.
We added on, so now we have space for 13 women. We have 42 total.
What about kids?
So no, it's a single shelter.
Okay.
So we take men and women. We have at times had a married couple, although they had to split up. But we don't take kids. But we went from 26 to 42, and now we have men and women, and we have a few transitional. So people that they can stay for up to a year. So sometimes when people are on their way out, we can move them into. We have 5 on the men's side and 3 on the women's side, little transitional rooms on top of our dorm. So our women's dorm has 11 beds in it, and our men's dorm has I think 20.
Wow.
And then we also, so altogether it equals 42.
Do you have any teenagers that are living there? They have no home.
I don't know our exact number right now. We wouldn't have it. Wouldn't be for younger teenagers,
No.
but obviously we could have an 18 or 19-year-old, and I don't know what our. We have a great staff over there who handle the day to day. We do have young people. I know that we have younger people. We have a couple veterans. We have a couple folks. Luckily, with the expansion, we are able to make it handicap accessible.
Yeah.
Have a handicap accessible bathroom and ramp. So we have some veterans. We have some older folks. We have some younger folks. Man.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture of people, and everybody has a different story.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago, we had someone on there, and she said, the lady said they had a teenager, about 17 or so, or 18. He was going to school still, and they needed supplies. I said, well, if you do, let us know. But the Grange would be more than happy to get some supplies for him or whatever. But we never heard nothing.
That was probably
more.
the old director, Lori Dow, had been there for years. I mean, now we have a person that's been there for about a year or so. But it's a great program. I mean, even since the time I've been here, we have donors that come and tour, and they're just so overwhelmed by what happens there that we get some nice funding from that. But every day we hear success stories of people that are getting apartments or getting jobs and so it's great to be a part of something like that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. You remember, you must have the portrait of Minnie Proud down there. She was such a fabulous lady. Oh my God. Everybody in Concord back in the 50s and 60s knew Minnie. She'd be on the street with her chair and with her tambourine or something,
Oh, okay.
and she always would collect, and she got so many donuts. She used to, before they rechanged Main Street, she would sit by, there was a store called Woolworths that was on Main Street. And that used to be where now is where edibles area, that whole block in that area there. Joe King. Well, that was where Woolworths were. So, and she'd sit there, and she always had such a fabulous smile. And she was probably about 5 foot tall. And just a little short lady. And of course, back those days, the Salvation Army had these wooden huts on the street. And so they could go inside there.
Stay warmer.
But she would be out there.
We have some great kettle workers. We've had them through the years. We've had that same person with a different name, in many of our locations. And we're grateful for our kettle workers. I mean, even today, it's a rainy kind of cool day, and they're out there collecting.
Yes, I saw that.
If it weren't for them, we wouldn't be able to raise. Some of them are volunteers. Some of them are actually folks from the Kenna House. Some of them are paid seasonal staff that we hire and pay them for 5 or 6 weeks, and but they do a tremendous job. Like I said, $100,000 isn't an easy feat. In 30 days. And you're talking, for the most part, we're nickels and dimes and dollars.
Yeah, because I remember they used to start in early November. They'd have a banquet. And that's when that was their kickoff to start the season, and that's why I was surprised we hadn't seen them out there too much.
Yeah, we started the week before Thanksgiving. It's changed over the years, depending on where you are and how many stores you have. We have a lot of our stores now. The Army works on national agreements with them, and we have some stores that don't start till after Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
So that shortens up our season. But we started the Thursday before Thanksgiving, so we had about 30 days, and some of our stores less, the ones that started after. But it's changed over the years, as you've said. But it's still every year, even with different, things happening, every year the national number for kettles always seems to, stay around the same or go up. So the community and the Concord community is very generous. I mean, the kettles that we have out are very good. We sometimes don't have enough people, so if anybody's watching this, we can definitely use volunteers and volunteer groups to come out, because when we have a kettle there, it does well. But there are times when we could use a few more bell ringers. So now we're getting, once we get through this week, we basically have 2 weeks before Christmas. And this is kind of our our push.
Yeah.
And so anybody that wants to volunteer, or if you have a group, I mean, it only takes 8 people.
Yeah.
To do a 10 to 6 shift, and that's 2 hours each. For 2 people for 2 hours, and it'll you can change lives with those coins and those dollar bills.
What makes me human, when I used to ring the bell, I used to ring the bells because the Grange used to do that for a few years back a while ago. But what was funny was the people that couldn't give would give.
Yeah.
The people who could give won't give at all. But they'll ignore you. They'll go off to the side. And then I had one lady come out of Walmart one night, and she looked at me, and she had a basket, 2 baskets full of gifts, and she looked at me, and she says, "Well, what do you want me? What do you want me to? Yeah, there you go. What do you want me to do?" And I said, "Well, you could say Merry Christmas." I said, really? I mean, there's not much I could do.
Right.
I mean, what am I supposed to do? I said, just say Merry Christmas. But she felt guilt, forgive. And it's funny because they'll go out the farthest door they can. They don't want to be. I saw that today, in fact.
Yeah, all the years that I've been doing, I've seen all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But luckily, there's enough of the public that's supportive, whether it's through kettles or whether it's through, obviously people sometimes send us in checks and things like that. So in general, the communities are very supportive. But you always have those stories.
Yeah. Well, like I said, now there's nobody from Concord that goes to the Pasadena for the Rose Bowl parade. I think we always see the Salvation Army.
It could depend. What they do is there's 2 musicians. There's 2 musicians from each division.
Yeah.
That go to march in the parade.
Oh, really?
And so it just depends on. So if there was a Salvation Army musician who was, from Concord, then they would have the chance.
Yeah.
But it just depends on where they're located. But the Northern New England division would send 2 people.
Really?
2 young, usually a young person, teenager, high schooler.
Yeah.
And then each division does that, and then when they get there, there's teenagers from young people from all over the country that form that band. In fact, the president, he just retired this year, but the guy, I forget his name now, who runs the Pasadena Rose Bowl parade, is a Salvationist. He attends the Pasadena Salvation Army Corps.
Wow.
And he's been doing that for years, and he just retired this year. So
they used to have a big float in the parade. They don't have a float anymore, but they do have the band.
Yeah.
And of course, the ladies who are in the front, who have the tambourines. Boy,
yeah.
That's a long way to march.
Yeah.
Boy, it's a 5
and depending
mile
on the weather, my
oh.
nephew was one of the ones one year that did it, and it's a long day.
Now, the other thing I was curious about, Major, was, and I know you just got here, so you really don't, I'm familiar with it, but they used to have their services, Sunday services, in the paper, and I haven't seen them for a long time have a little in the church paper on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it just depends on where you are, and how I think it comes down to cost, and is it if you've been putting that in the paper for 10 years, but nobody's ever come and said I came because I saw it in the paper, is it worth it? I'm not sure what happens here. I know in our last place it was there because it had been there before I got there. It all depends. I think it depends on the paper's just what's been done. So I'm not sure here. I'll have to actually check on that.
Yeah.
But
so you still have Sunday services?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, my wife, all officers are ordained ministers. We have Sunday services every Sunday at 10. We have Sunday school at 9. We have a Bible study during that right now, but a Bible study during the week. My wife has a women's club. I have a men's club.
Yeah.
We have youth groups. We have teen night. Oh yeah, it's still happening. We just don't have it in the paper. If that's the.
So do you still have the? Let's see. There was a group. They used to wear the brown uniforms. The kids. What was Sunbeams?
Sunbeams, yep. We still have Sunbeams and Girl Guards and Adventure Corps. That's our Boy Scouts kind of thing. We have badges, and yep. that happens. That's called our troop night, and that happens. We have our teen night.
We'd love to see him in the Christmas
Yeah.
parade and stuff. You know?
Yeah, they did that. I guess they've done that a couple years ago. Somebody was telling me about it, and yeah, maybe again. We just got here in July. The summer was kind of like got back in the swing of things in September.
Yeah.
But maybe once we're here for a longer time and we know the kids, and
Yeah.
might be something we can set up for next year.
It'd be nice. We used to see the sunbeams and we always wondered, are they scouts? Are they,
Yeah.
But they are the sunbeams. But,
Yep. So we still have it.
Well, I'm telling you, Major, it's been a pleasure having you come on today, and we get the word out there that you need some more money in those kettles.
Yeah,
and
we need volunteers for the kettles,
and
money in the kettle, and go out and pick up an angel. They're all supposed to come back on the 12th because then obvious our angel tree distribution day is the 19th, so we need that time to put them together. But there are angels all over the place. If you don't know where to find one, you could give us a call. But like I know, J.C. Penney's, Toys R Us, Orange Leaf, all different.
Do you want the gifts wrapped or no?
No, it'll say that on the tag, but they're unwrapped. Just because you never know, so we can't give something out that we haven't looked at ourselves.
Okay.
But unwrapped. But yeah, you can get those angels.
But
we have about 20 places that have them, but the major places where you can go, J.C. Penney's, Toys R Us. You can come to the Salvation Army. We have a tree there. Bonton, Orange Leaf, and I thought Harley Davidson, Cheers.
Wow.
Harley Davidson just did a big event for us on Saturday where they raise money. So everybody kind of comes together.
Do you, trying to think too, do you have to put wrapping paper in with it too?
We do. We for the angel tree, we try to, if we have enough, we will give the parents, because the idea is that the parents give these gifts to their kids and thinking that they come from Santa.
Sure.
We don't want them to think they came from us.
Well, no.
So, and if wrapping paper is not cheap, so we do try to give out wrapping paper and tape and bows to each family so they can go home and wrap the gifts and put them under their own tree.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we've come to a close now, and so if you have any questions or if you would like to volunteer, please give Major a call, and that's at 225-5586, correct?
Yes.
And he'll be more than happy to greet you and to welcome you at the Salvation Army and give as much as you can.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me, Dick. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime, Major, anytime.
Thank you.
And with that in mind, we'll thank my director over there, Ian Marx, and have a great day. Drive safely as we're getting ready for winter, and we'll see you all soon and around town. I'm your host, Dick Patten.